Wait, hold on, hold on, hold on. Did Akbar V really just go online and call Cardi B a sore loser, after Cardi B's team snatched her whole diss track off YouTube like it was never there? Yo, this woman is now claiming Cardi just ruined female rap. Brew. Ruined it. You couldn't even keep your OWN song on the platform for 24 hours. And Akbar really thought this was the moment she was finally gonna catch a real one. Listen, before we crack this whole thing open, you'll already know what it is. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn the notifications on, because Melanin Media is exposing everything the other channels too scared to touch. Let's get into it. So here's the skeleton, real quick, and I'm gonna lay it out clean because the timeline on this one is gonna make your jaw drop. Backlash Almanza, Cardi B herself, had Akbar vs Pretty and Petty freestyle removed from YouTube via copyright claim, because Akbar jumped on Cardi's OWN beat without clearance. We're not guessing here. The takedown notice on the video literally reads no longer available due to a copyright claim by Warner Chappell Music. That's Cardi's publishing on the receipt. On camera, screenshot, undeniable. Multiple outlets confirmed the takedown the same week, including pop data trackers who broke the news that Cardi's team filed the strike directly. Akbar V, born Akbar Vasquez, that Atlanta Love and Hip Hop alum, the same one who's been trying to bag a viral moment since 2017, fired back on X with a tweet calling Cardi a sore loser and accusing her of ruining female rap. And here's the part that breaks my brain. That tweet dropped right after the takedown notice hit her channel. Not a day later. Not a week later. Right after. Like she was sitting there refreshing YouTube Studio, watched the analytics flatline, and went straight to the keyboard with steam still coming off her fingertips. Bro. Akbar clearly didn't think this all the way through. She walked into a fight she set up for herself, on a beat she didn't pay for, against an opponent who didn't even need to type back. And the wildest part? She thought this was the moment. Thought this was the chess move. Thought this was the angle that was finally gonna put her in the conversation with the women whose names actually move tickets. Now let's pull up the actual receipts so y'all can see why this whole stunt backfired in record time. Because once you see the timestamps, once you see the screenshots, once you see who said what, and when, the picture gets so much darker than just girl posted a diss and got it taken down. This is a case study in how to torch your own career on live television. Stay locked in. Let's start with the words straight from Akbar's keyboard, because the receipts are gonna do most of the talking on this one. In her X post following the takedown, Akbar V wrote, and I quote, "So loser. This is hip-hop. Cardi B, you just proved to me that I got you bothered." Then she dropped the screenshot of her own video gone, deleted, vanished into the YouTube void. And right after that, she posted, "Cardi, you just ruined female rap." Man, when I read that, I had to do a triple take. I had to put my phone down, walk around the room, come back, and read it again. Bro said Cardi ruined female rap. The woman who just rapped a 35-date arena tour that grossed over $70 million and moved more than 430,000 tickets across North America. That woman ruined the same genre Akbar can barely charting? Nah, brew, you can't say that out loud and expect grown adults to keep a straight face. That's like a Sunday League rec player saying LeBron ruined basketball. The numbers don't just disagree with you, the numbers laugh at you. Billboard literally had to write multiple articles just about Cardi adding more dates because demand kept exploding. You think the woman selling out Houston's Toyota Center is the one ruining female rap? Get OUTTA here. Now flip the script to Cardi B. On October 25, 2025, Backlash hopped on her live and dropped this exact message. And watch this, because the delivery is the entire reason this clip went viral. I'm quoting her word for word. "You got to let that hate go. You got to let that hate go." You want to know why? Because the way I'm putting things together, the way I'm planning things out, I'm going to keep on winning. And you're literally going to die watching me win over and over and over again. Then she added, "I might have some bad days that you might get a low key out of, but I'm never going to fall." And the kill shot? "I promise you I'm not your enemy, heel." Brew. Sit with that for a second. Cardi didn't even say her name. She didn't dignify it with a name drop. She just blew kisses through the screen and told her to go heel. That's the most disrespectful response in hip-hop right now, getting told to seek therapy on live, in front of millions of viewers, while your own diss track is still warm in the takedown notice email. Hot New Hip Hop confirmed this exchange on their Akbar V coverage and even framed her as demanding Cardi and Lato respond in the booth like she's some heavyweight contender waiting on a title shot. Demanding. The same way a parking attendant demands a Bugatti owner repark. Now pivot, Akbar wasn't done. She was not done. Bro went into damage control mode and somehow made it worse. According to her Twitter Spaces conversation with Armin Wiggins captured on November 1st, 2025, she said even IF Pinkwig, meaning Nicki Minaj, called her. She would not tell nobody. Yo, when I heard that one I laughed. I laughed out loud in my own kitchen. Because everybody, and they mama can see who's pulling the strings here. You don't accidentally beef with every artist on a certain veteran's enemies list, Cardi, Lato, Lizzo, Trina, by coincidence. That's not coincidence. That's not bad luck. That's not random. That's what people in this industry call a contract. And before you'll come for me, that's opinion, that's speculation, that's reading the obvious pattern in front of our eyes. But the pattern? The pattern is undeniable. Now let's move to Megan, because while all that Akbar drama was unfolding, something even bigger was cooking 3 blogs over. On October 24th, 2025, Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Jovan Ruth Pete, Hot Girl Meg, Tina Snow herself, dropped a snippet of an unreleased track on her Instagram. The bars, all that wifey shit is dead, I put that shit to bed, I'ma make him beg, when I want some head. Complex broke down the snippet in their coverage and confirmed the timing was right after her confirmed breakup, and people reported it's widely believed to be aimed at her ex Klay Thompson after their breakup earlier this fall. The original IG post is still up if you'll wanna see the reaction in real time. The men in the comments lost it. Like, lost it. Veins popping out their necks, caps lock activated. The whole nine. One dude went on a full rant, and I quote his words verbatim because you have to hear it to believe it. All that wifey shit is dead. Put that shit to bed. You can keep listening to these female rappers all you want. Lil Wayne was my favorite rapper growing up. I never once thought about a face tattoo. I never thought about banging blood. But you girls, you'll think hot girl life is the way you supposed to live. When I read that, I was like, so. The cognitive dissonance in that paragraph could power a city. You'll glorify Wheezy, a man with a teardrop tattoo and gang-affiliated lyrics that fill a Wikipedia subsection. But a woman saying she's done playing wife is the end of civilization? The double standard isn't even hiding anymore. It's standing in the middle of the room with the lights on, demanding a seat at the table. Megan's caption clapped right back. She posted, LOL, that's how I know this song is about to be a banger. Hot girls, get ready to collect your points and mail tears this summer. That's the line right there. That's the championship belt response. Bro got humbled in the quote tweet. He really came at Tina Snow on her own page, on her own post, on her own platform, and got served back to him with a side of thank you for the marketing. Embarrassing. Like, generationally embarrassing. The kind of L his grandkids are gonna find when they Google him in 20 years. And then there's Ari Fletcher. The drama just keeps stacking. On October 26, 2025, Daily Loud posted a clip of Ari showing off a wedding ring collection on IG Live, all gifted by DeMario Dwayne White Jr. Moneybag yo to y'all who don't know. We're talking icy, we're talking VVS, we're talking a tray of rings that look like they came out of a Cartier vault on a rolling cart. One commenter wrote, how you got a wedding ring collection with no wedding plans in sight? Moneybag really be planning Ari's. Now on paper, that troll thought he had a point. He thought he was being clever. Ari fired back instantly, and the Shade Room captured the exact response on the record. Ari wrote, be how you gonna see my wedding plans? Playing in my face. Yo ring collection look like your family future on my finger. HOE. I had to put my phone down. I had to physically remove the device from my hand and walk away. That wasn't a clapback. That was a homicide. That was a one-bar career ender for a man who was just trying to fit a comment in between his lunch break. Now let's connect the dots, because the timing on all of this is too clean to be random. Way too clean. This isn't three separate stories happening by accident in the same week. This is a coordinated cultural moment, and the receipts are gonna show you exactly how the pieces line up. That takedown? It hit Akbar's channel less than 48 hours after she dropped the song. 48 hours. Cardi's team didn't even wait for the buzz to build. They sniped it. Like a heat-seeking missile locked onto a paper airplane. That tells you everything about how seriously Camp Belcalis was treating this. They saw zero threat, zero engagement, zero reason to leave free promo for the whoops. They didn't even let the diss have a 72-hour news cycle. That's not legal strategy. That's a statement. A statement that says, we don't even consider you a competitor. We consider you an infringement notice. And then they made it official with the Warner Chappell strike, because Cardi's publishing isn't a hobby, it's an empire. Remember that tweet? It dropped the same afternoon her Twitter Spaces with Armin Wiggins was scheduled. Same afternoon. That's not a victim posting in real time. That's a coordinated content cycle. Take down, tweet outrage, host a space, milk the clout, repeat the cycle until the algorithm gives up on you. Akbar really thought she invented the formula nobody could decode. She thought she was running game on the internet. The internet's been running game on her since 2017, my guy. The clout was the bait. The relevance was the trap. And she walked into it grinning. Now look at her broader pattern over the last 60 days. Lizzo, over Lizzo's baby daddy situation. Lizzo, who also caught heat from the Queen's Icons camp and had to publicly address those beef rumors on Drink Champs, saying flat out there's no beef on my end with Nicki Minaj. Then Trina, over a coconut water comment that sounded like a 4 out of 10 compliment that got read as a 1. Now Cardi B. 3 different female artists, 3 different lanes, 3 different regional bases, 0 common denominator except one. Every single one has been in a public Cold War with that same Queens-based pop culture figure who hasn't dropped a hit single in 2 years. Any smart person would have waited or picked ONE target. 1. Build the case, do the damage, retreat. But Akbar isn't operating on smart. She's operating on assignment. Or at least that's what the visible pattern strongly suggests, and you can connect the dots yourselves because they are not even spaced that far apart. His reaction happened during a moment Megan herself didn't even need to acknowledge. She's currently the most talked about woman in rap this month, fresh off a high-profile NBA breakup, dropping music with everything to gain and nothing to lose. The dude trolling her literally walked into a marketing campaign and signed up to be the test dummy. He thought he was running into a fight. He was running into a focus group. The marketing team probably had his comment screenshot, run through the engagement tracker, and saved for the next ad campaign before he even hit send. And Ari's Ring video? Dropped during a stretch where Moneybagg Yo's tour schedule has him out of Memphis more than his in it. So the troll comment had legs because the public's been speculating for months about the relationship, the rumored financial allowances that some blogs have alleged could be 6 figures a month, and the lack of a public proposal. But Ari already had the response loaded. She wasn't surprised by the question. She was prepared for it. That's not improved. That's preparation. Any smart hater would have waited until the response cooled. But the trolls aren't smart. The trolls are typing with 1 thumb and 0 foresight. Now check this out, and this is the part of the breakdown that nobody else is gonna give you, because everybody else just runs the surface story. We're going under the hood. Nobody's talking about the specific word Akbar used. She said sore loser. Sore loser. Slow that down. Losing implies there was a competition. Losing implies a finish line, a scoreboard, a referee, somebody calling the match. But Cardi never entered one. There's no scoreboard, no judges, no public match, no agreed-upon arena. By calling Cardi a sore loser, Akbar accidentally admitted she sees herself competing in a race the other person isn't even running. That's the kind of slip a public speaking coach would flag in 5 seconds. A communications director would have made her delete that tweet and rewrite it 3 times before posting. But there's no communications director. There's just Akbar and a thumb and Wi-Fi. Opposition doesn't even hear what she's saying out loud. Now zoom into Megan's specific phrasing. Put that shit to bed. Not I'm done with wifey. Not I'm not wifey. She said put it to bed, which is funeral language. That is burial language. You don't put a flexible idea to bed. You put a dead one to bed. That's the bar that activated every grown man's defenses, because the wording doesn't say I'm moving on. It says this concept is dead. Please bring flowers. She buried an entire dating philosophy in 5 words, and the boys could feel that. The boys felt their entire negotiating position crumble in real time. That's why the rage was so loud. The rage wasn't about a song. The rage was about a thesis statement. Now Ari's line, "Yo ring collection look like your family future on my finger." That's not a flex. That's not a clapback. That's generational economics weaponized into one bar. She's not just saying I have rings. She's saying what's on any of my fingers represents more accumulated wealth than your entire bloodline will see in 3 generations. That's not even an insult about looks or status. That's an insult about lineage, about inheritance, about the math of what one woman in 2025 can collect from a relationship versus what an entire family tree of trolls can accumulate by saving every paycheck. That's surgical. That's the kind of clapback that gets screenshot and saved for the next argument across every group chat in America. The troll thought he was poking at a relationship status. Ari made it about lineage, about bloodlines, about the literal economic gap between her finger and his family tree. And one more. Peep how Cardi delivered the word heal. She didn't yell it. She didn't spit it. She didn't say it with venom. She blew a kiss after it. A little kiss. That little kiss blow at the end is a move that turned a live message into a meme that's gonna live in the hip-hop archive for the next decade. Because mockery wrapped in sweetness hits twice as hard as direct aggression. Akbar's supporters can't even say Cardi was being aggressive. She was technically being kind. Technically wishing her well. Technically offering free emotional advice. That's psychological judo. That's using your opponent's momentum against them and making it look like grace. If Akbar V had half a tactical brain, she would have noticed she got buried with a smile. And here's another forensic detail nobody flagged: the order of Cardi's sentences. She didn't lead with heal. She built UP to it. You got to let that hate go. Soft open. I'm going to keep on winning establishes the gap. You're literally going to die watching me win over and over again. The death sentence delivered with a smile. I might have some bad days, false vulnerability that makes her look mature. But I'm never going to fall, closes the door. And then, only then, after she's built the entire architecture, she drops heel. With a kiss. That's not improved. That's a script. Or it's somebody who's been doing this so long she doesn't need a script anymore. Either way, surgical. Now let's talk about how the different outlets cover this, because the way the media framed each story tells you who's playing for whose team, and that's a whole layer of the conversation people skip over. Hot New Hip Hop framed this as Akbar demanding Cardi and Lato respond in the booth. They made her sound like a serious challenger waiting on her dues, like a contender who'd already earned the title shot. That's HNHH propping the underdog story, because the underdog story drives clicks. Conflict equals traffic. They are not lying. They are just framing. Complex took a completely different angle on the Megan situation. Complex framed the snippet as a feminist post-breakup anthem, leaning into Megan's autonomy and the post-relationship empowerment angle. That's the lane that drives their subscriber base. Empowerment narratives, autonomy, women reclaiming their voice. Also not lying. Just framing. People magazine framed the same song as direct Klay Thompson shade. Celebrity tabloid spin, all the way. They want the breakup angle. They want the NBA rapper crossover. They want the soap opera. So the same 9 seconds of audio becomes 3 completely different stories depending on who's typing the headline. The Shade Room framed Ari's clapback as comedy gold, but barely touched the deeper question of whether Ari and Moneybagg are already secretly married, which is the question that's actually been simmering in the comments for over a year now. They went for the laugh, not the law. Smart for engagement, weak for substance. And then there's the counter-narrative crowd. Some folks are saying Cardi was wrong for taking the song down, that real hip-hop means you let the diss live, you let the streets decide, you don't run to legal. But that's the same crowd that conveniently forgets, using somebody's beat without clearance for a profit-generating, this is straight infringement. That's not a hip-hop debate. That's a copyright statute. That's been the move since Pac vs. Biggie. Cardi's team didn't kill the diss. Akbar killed it by not paying for the beat. Akbar's the one who chose the beat. Akbar's the one who didn't license it. Akbar's the one who uploaded it to a monetizable platform. The takedown is a consequence, not an attack. Some Akbar fans saying Cardi is scared. Scared of what? Exactly. Bro, please. The woman with 35 consecutive sold-out arena nights. The woman who just became the first female rapper ever to sell out arena shows in Portland, Sacramento, and San Francisco. The woman whose ticket pages on Ticketmaster were crashing on pre-sale day. That woman is scared of someone with a Love and Hip Hop check from 2017. The math ain't Maything. The math is so far from Maything that the math hired a lawyer. Those are the same people who thought Akbar was about to be the next big thing in 2019. The media trying to spin Cardi versus Akbar like it's a real beef, but the receipts don't lie. Only any of these women has a stadium tour, a Grammy, a publishing deal big enough to issue takedowns, and an Era 2 album already loaded in the chamber. And here's the part most blogs won't tell you. Akbar didn't even fail because Cardi attacked her. She failed because she attacked someone whose career operates at a completely different altitude. It's like throwing a paper airplane at a 747. The 747 isn't dodging. The 747 didn't even feel impact. The 747 is at cruising altitude wondering why anybody bothered. Something about this whole thing feels OFF. Real off. And I don't think it's even about Cardi at the end of the day. We're about to get into the part of this video that's gonna piss some people off. So if you've made it this far, buckle up. Because what I'm about to say isn't what the algorithm wants to promote. Here's what nobody is saying. And I mean nobody. Not the blogs, not the podcasts, not the morning radio shows. Akbar V isn't beefing with Cardi B. She's auditioning. This is industry politics dressed up as a rap beef. When you look at the consistent pattern, Lizzo, Trina, now Cardi, every single one of these targets has had documented or speculated tension with the same Queens-based pop culture figure who hasn't had a hit in 2 years. That's not Akbar building a brand. That's not Akbar finding her artistic voice. That's Akbar getting handed a checklist. Bro is operating like a contract worker. And the strings? Visible from space. You can disagree with that, read all you want, but pattern recognition isn't a conspiracy theory. Pattern recognition is what every detective in every show you watch uses to solve the case before the third commercial break. The really sad part? She's not even being paid like a top-tier mercenary, if we're going by visible returns. Numbers don't lie. When she's tearing down Cardi, the engagement is in the thousands. When she releases her own music, 94 likes on a recent post. 94. That tells you everything about who's actually invested in her versus who's just using her as a delivery vehicle for someone else's grudge. The people boosting her hate content aren't fans. They are tourists. They show up for the spectacle and disappear when there's no fight. And here's the kicker. When this little assignment is over, Akbar isn't going home with a Grammy. She's not going home with a publishing deal. She's not going home with a tour. She's going home with a deactivated account and zero relevance. The girl is burning every bridge in the female rap community to be a heat-seeking missile for someone who won't even publicly acknowledge her. Think about that. Won't even acknowledge her. That's the dumbest career move in modern rap. The same people boosting her hate tweets won't be there when she needs a feature, a cosign, or a tour slot. They are using her like a Kleenex, pull her out, wipe up the mess, throw her away. That's the move of someone with terrible advisors, or no advisors at all. And honestly, looking at the trajectory, probably no advisors at all. Real advisors would have shut this down in the group chat before the first tweet went up. Now flip to Megan. The men losing their minds over wifey shit is dead. That's not really about Megan. That's not even about that song. That's about a generation of dudes watching female artists openly reject the silent submissive girlfriend role on wax, and realizing they have nothing to negotiate with anymore. The Klay Thompson breakup didn't just end a celebrity couple. It gave Megan a microphone and a reason to use it. And every man whining in her comments is showing his entire hand without realizing it. They are not mad at the song. They are mad that the song is working. They are mad that women are listening. They are mad that the response to a man not delivering is a woman releasing music about it instead of crying about it. That shift. That's the cultural shift they can't process. And here's a forbidden observation. The angrier the comment, the more the commenter is admitting the song is about him. Or somebody like him. You don't rage at a song that doesn't apply to you. You scroll. You move on. You hit not interested. But when a song hits a nerve, when a song describes the exact dynamic you've been getting away with for years, that's when you write the 4-paragraph rant. The rage is the receipt. The rage is the confession. The scary part isn't what happened publicly with Akbar. It's what's happening behind the scenes in female rap. The industry has been quietly trying to manufacture beefs between black women for clout cycles, because black women dominating amicably is bad for engagement metrics, but black women fighting is gold for the algorithm. 2 queens hugging at the awards show? 200,000 likes. 2 queens arguing on Twitter? 20 million. Do the math. The platforms know this. The labels know this. The blogs know this. And when one of those queens refuses to play, when Cardi refuses to even say Akbar's name out loud, that's not weakness. That's a woman who finally figured out the game. You don't dance for the algorithm. You make the algorithm dance for you. Akbar still thinks beef equals buzz. Cardi knows distance equals dominance. That's the gap between someone playing checkers and someone playing chess. And the chess player doesn't even acknowledge the checkers player is at the table. And that ring drama with Ari and Moneybagyo? Same trap, different costume. Same psychological operation, just with different props. The same culture that pushes women to demand marriage as the ultimate prize is the same culture that mocks them for wanting it, and also mocks them for not having it. Think about how rigged that game is. Want a ring? You're materialistic. Don't want a ring? You're settling. Get a ring? You only got it for the money. Don't get a ring? Your man doesn't really love you. Ari can't win in that game, unless she does what she just did, which is mock the question itself. Refuse to play. Flip the board. That clapback wasn't about rings. It was about refusing to let strangers define her relationship's worth. The troll thought he was attacking Ari's status. Ari turned the entire premise of the question into a punchline about the troll's bloodline. That's how you exit a no-win game. You redraw the board. You burn the rulebook. You make the question itself look stupid. So when you stack all 3 stories on top of each other, Cardi, Megan, Ari, you see the same pattern repeating in 3 different lanes. 3 black women, 3 completely different fields, all being publicly questioned about whether they deserve the position they currently hold. Cardi being questioned for protecting her catalog. Megan being questioned for refusing to settle. Ari being questioned for accepting gifts without a wedding date. Same machine. Same engineering. Different uniforms. And in every case, the same thing happens. The woman responds calmly, decisively, with receipts, and the questioners look ridiculous. That's not 3 stories. That's a trend. That's a culture in transition. That's the moment the rules change and the people clinging to the old rulebook get caught with the wrong playbook in their hands. The people trying to defend Akbar, the men trolling Megan, the commenters mocking Ari. They are all gonna look back on these posts in 2 years and pretend they never said any of it. You're gonna ask them in 2027 if they ever defended Akbar V, and they're gonna swear on their grandma they were always Team Cardi. Watch. And that's the truth they won't tell you on the bigger blogs. Because the bigger blogs depend on the beef cycle. The bigger blogs profit from the manufactured conflict. So they can't say the conflict is manufactured. That would put them out of business. The silence right now is the scary part. Watch. Akbar V is about to spiral. Mark this video. Bookmark it. Come back to it in 90 days. When Cardi doesn't say her name on any platform for the next 90 days, and trust, she won't, Akbar's gonna have to escalate. She's gonna have to. Because the algorithm doesn't reward silence on her side. The algorithm rewards new content, fresh outrage, escalating stakes. So that means another diss. Probably this time on a beat she actually clears, which means weaker production, which means even fewer streams. Then she's gonna start tagging Cardi directly. Then she's gonna start subbing Offset, the kids, the family, anything to get a reaction. Anything to feel relevant for one more news cycle. And nothing's gonna land. Nothing. The hate tweet machine that gave her 20,000 likes last week. It'll dry up to 2,000, then 200, then 20. Because the same people boosting her now will get bored when there's no fight to ringside. There's no show without 2 fighters. And when one fighter refuses to step in the ring, the audience leaves. By the time her actual album drops, If it drops, the audience that propped her up for this hit job will be on to the next assignment, the next manufactured beef, the next puppet on the next checklist. Bro is about to learn what it feels like to scream into a void wearing a mic that's not plugged in. Stadium-sized silence with no audience inside. Now flip it. What happens if Cardi does decide to respond? Because there's always that possibility. Yeah, this could get ugly fast. Cardi's been quietly building bars in the studio for 2 years on Am I the Drama? Era 2. The same album that's already generating pre-order buzz before a tracklist has even been confirmed. If she ever decides Akbar is worth the airtime, and that's a big if, it won't be a song. A song would be too much on her. It'll be a 30-second IG voice memo that gets dissected for a week. We've seen what Cardi does when she takes the gloves off. Look at every receipt she's pulled out in past beefs. The phone records, the DMs, the screenshots, the voice notes. The woman keeps a forensic archive. Akbar is not built for that smoke. Akbar is built for tweets, not warfare. The only thing saving Akbar right now is Cardi's refusal to engage. The day that refusal ends, Akbar's career ends with it. Don't say nobody warned you. Megan, watch the next move carefully. That snippet wasn't a one-off. That was a tone setter. That was a flare gun. That was a here's the album theme. Get ready announcement disguised as a casual post. The full song is coming. And when it lands, the same men currently crying in her comments are gonna be quoting it at the function. They are gonna be in the club rapping along. They are gonna be in the gym hitting representatives to it. They are gonna be in the car singing it to themselves at red lights. That's how this always works. The Backlash is the marketing. Megan's team knows exactly what they did. Expect a music video. Expect a viral dance. Expect a stadium anthem rollout that turns wifey shit is dead into the catchphrase of next summer. The dude's mad right now? They are funding the whole campaign with free engagement and don't even know it. Every angry quote tweet is free advertising. Every "this is what's wrong with women today" rant is a billboard. Every "I would never date her" comment is a search query that boosts the song's algorithm. By the time the song charts top 10, every one of those angry quote tweets gets reshared as marketing material. They are gonna be horrified at their own contributions. They are gonna watch their own outrage get used in promotional reels. Cinema. And Ari Fletcher, peep this. If the rumors about a secret marriage are true, and I'm saying if, because nobody's confirmed it, this is internet speculation, don't take this as fact. But if the rumors are true, this whole troll cycle is about to end with the most devastating ring reveal of the year. Imagine Ari pulling up to an event with a band on the other finger, no announcement, no press release, just a photo dropped at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday with no caption. Every single comment questioning her relationship status becomes a screenshot of public embarrassment. Every "where's the wedding" tweet becomes a tombstone for a hot take that didn't survive contact with the truth. And if they are not married yet? Watch, Moneybag is gonna do something big, public, and impossible to dismiss within the next 6 months. A proposal, a reveal, a public commitment moment that ends the speculation cycle for good. Either way, the people commenting "where's the wedding" are about to look real silly real fast. Either way, the people questioning her position are about to be wrong out loud, in public, on the internet, with the receipts saved forever. That's the price of betting against a woman who's already shown you she came prepared. Zoom out further. This isn't just 3 stories about 3 women. This is bigger than that. This is the moment the culture decides whether female rap, female influence, and female autonomy get to be celebrated quietly, or whether every move requires public defense. Whether women in power get to exist without an explanation tax. Whether every accomplishment has to be defended in the comments before it can be enjoyed by the accomplisher. 5 years from now, we're gonna look back at the Akbar Cardi situation as a footnote, a paragraph in a much larger article about how the female rap landscape sorted itself out in the mid-2020s. We're gonna look back at the Megan backlash as the moment the male commentator lost the plot completely, the moment they showed their hand and the culture moved on without them. And we're gonna look back at Ari's clapback as a blueprint for every woman tired of explaining her own life to strangers with no stake in it. The opposition in all 3 stories is on the losing side of history. Akbar's relevance, the troll's relevance, the comment section misogyny. All 3 are aging like milk in the sun. Like dairy products in a Phoenix parking lot. Like a smoothie left in the cup holder during a road trip across Death Valley. The smell is gonna get worse before it gets better. And by the time anyone notices, the people responsible for the mess will have changed their usernames and pretended they were never in the kitchen. Whatever happens, one thing's clear. The opposition already lost. They just don't know it yet. They are still typing. They are still posting. They are still trolling. But the receipts are filed. The takedown is processed. The snippet is uploaded. The clapback is screenshot. And history is taking notes. And history? History doesn't grade on a Kev. So here's where we leave it. You'll already know what time it is. Drop your hottest take in the comments. Is Akbar V really finished, or is there one diss left that could save her? Is Megan about to give us the anthem of the year? And do y'all think Ari and Moneybag are already secretly married? Smash that like, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and stay locked in, because Melanin Media is bringing the receipts before the blogs even wake up. And by the way, tomorrow we're dropping something crazy about Nicki Minaj's role in Akbar's entire hit job campaign. Names, dates, screenshots. You do not want to miss that one. Stay woke, stay petty, stay tuned.